this front row. Perfect. Excellent. We learn the most when we are listening to the teacher, eyes on the teacher and hands folded. When your hands are folded, you are concentrating on what you need to hear. All right, boys and girls, right here in my hands I have this big book that has 3 words in the title. The first word starts with a blend ST. I'm going to give you a few seconds to try to sound this out in your head. There's no silent E at the end, so this must be a short I. The other 2 words are sight words, so I don't think we need to sound them out. Hands down, we're going to do it together. I'll give you a few seconds. I like that you're trying to sound it out. A few seconds. Hands down. All right. We're going to read it together. I said hands down. Fold your hands. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Stick to it.
Fantastic. Now, stick to it. What do you think that means? Raising a silent hand. Karina, what do you think that means?
That means I think they're trying to tell us to pay attention to the story because it might not kind of make that much sense.
So you think this means pay attention to the story? Maybe. Marin?
I think they're trying to make a meal and they're having a lot of trouble, but they're sticking to it.
Oh, so you're looking at the picture on the cover and you think that the mice are trying to make a meal and they're having trouble, so they're sticking to it. So what's another way to say stick to it? Marin says you need to stick to it. Does that mean you need to go to sleep?
No, that means you need to...
Raise your hands. What do you think? Marin, hands down, friends.
I think that means when you're having a little bit of trouble, try to just work harder or have help.
Oh, so try to work harder.
But if you're by yourself, then just keep on trying again. That's what I think, stick to it.
Well, you're right. Stick to it means do not give up. I like how Claire has her eyes on the teacher. I like how Omika has her eyes on the teacher. Now, boys and girls, inside this book, there are many stories about sticking to it. And today we're going to read the story that actually has to do with these characters. And the title is, once I get to it, I know it's a big book, so it's going to be a little difficult to turn the pages, just like the other big books we read. All right, the title is Tillie, sight word, what is that?
And the
Wall. Tillie and the Wall. Now there are mice again, and I'm going to close this for a second. Good readers try to predict what's going to happen, or they try to figure out what the story is about before we start. 1 second, I know you want to answer. Now this story is Tillie and the Wall, and we just said that all the stories in this book are about sticking to it. So what do you think is going to happen in this story? All we know is that there's a wall and there's someone named Tillie. Now remember, once someone starts to speak, put your hands down. Keep your answers in your head. Muncie.
I think it means a mouse that wants to get over a big wall, but it cannot.
Oh, Muncie thinks that.
But he.
Raphael.
But he's trying and not and sticking to it.
Oh, so do you think the mouse is going to stick to trying to get over the wall? Well, we don't know what's going to happen because we haven't read the story yet. Again, I need to compliment London. London is doing very well sitting where she is. And the front row right here. Raphael, do you have something to say before we start?
No, I was trying to tell you what about the mouse was. The mouse might try to make a house so that like the wall, so he can get comfy, or he just used the house for climbing up.
So you think the house, oh, because you saw the picture, you think the mouse is going to build a house to get up the wall. Maybe. Yes, Zachary.
Maybe the mouse did not know that the wall is a mouse, so he thinks that let's stick to it nice, and then the wall, and then the mouse keeps on saying it because the wall is not moving.
All right, so we think, predict. We predict. That means we're going to say what we think is going to happen. We predict that Tillie tries to climb the wall. Raphael says maybe they'll build a house.
Was there a dot?
Zachariah says they'll work together as a team.
I said that they're trying to make the wall. They think it's the mouse. That's why it's not moving, and they keep on saying, "Stick to it, wall."
Stick to it. Okay, we'll see. We don't know yet because we haven't read the story. All right, let's see if our predictions are correct. Here we go. The wall had been there ever since the mice could remember. They never paid attention to it. They never asked themselves what was on the other side, nor, for that matter, if there were another side at all. So these mice just lived their lives every day, did not pay attention to the wall at all. Let's see what happens. We'll see. They went about their business as if the wall didn't exist. What does it mean when the author says the wall does not exist? Charlotte, what do you think?
That means it's like it's not even there.
It's like it's not even there. All right, hands down, let's see. The mice loved to talk. They chatted endlessly about this and that. Oh, endlessly. I'm not sure I know what that means. They chatted endlessly. Do you think that means they chatted loudly?
No.
No. What do you think, London?
They chatted, and that means they did not talk. And this means that means they would not stop.
They would not stop talking. So the mice loved to talk. They chatted endlessly about this and that, but no one ever mentioned the
wall.
Very good. So here they are talking, having a great time. Yes.
I see one of the mice is paying attention to the wall, not the talking.
Wow, very interesting. So there's one that's not talking. So they keep saying that none of the mice paid attention to the wall, but wait a second. We notice that one is looking at the wall. I wonder what will happen next. We said it's about sticking to it, and we talked about someone named Tillie. Karina.
Tillie must be the mouse that's paying attention to the wall and not talking.
You think Tillie is this character, this mouse
Tillie?
right here?
Yes. A mice is
Raising a
more
seven?
than one.
Right, it's a mouse. Okay. When you want to say something, remember, raise your hand so everyone can hear you. I like, again, how Sophie is sitting. And Simone, very nice. Monty, we're going to move on. But keep your answers in your head. Your answers, or whatever you have to say, might have to do with the next page. Only Tillie, the youngest, would stare at it, wondering about the other side. You're right. This is Tillie. At night, while the others were asleep, she would lie in her bed of straw, wide awake, imagining beyond the wall a beautiful, fantastic world, inhabited by strange animals and plants. Wow, there are some tricky words in these sentences that I just don't understand. She imagined beautiful, fantastic world inhabited by strange animals and plants. Now think about it. What do you think inhabited means? It's a world inhabited by beautiful animals and plants. What do you think that means? Claire?
It wouldn't be discovered yet.
It hasn't been discovered yet? Oh, maybe.
That they live there.
They live there. Oh. Let's see. Wide awake, imagining beyond the wall was a beautiful, fantastic world where strange animals and plants lived. Do you think that makes sense? Yes, I think so. Well, let's see. She's imagining. Does she know if this is what's on the other side? No. Why not, Mimi?
Because he's just predicting.
Predicting, or she's imagining. She's never been there, just like we've never heard the end of this story or the rest. So we don't know what's going to happen.
So we're just predicting.
Yes, that's right. We're using our clues. We must see the other side, she told her friends. Let us try to climb. They tried, but as they climbed, the wall seemed higher and higher. Before we look at the next page, the wall seemed higher and higher. Do you think the wall grew?
No.
So why did they say that the wall seemed higher and higher? Monsi?
Because they're mice and we're humans. Because mice are very, very small, almost as small as a fly. So a wall is taller than it seems to us.
Very good. So the wall might be really, really tall for the mice, and it looks like it will never end. Again, let's do a sitting check. Let's see. Again, this front row is sitting nicely. I like that. Sophie's sitting nicely. Very good. London. Wow, you're trying so hard to keep your eyes on the teacher. Good. Okay. So, climbing didn't work. Let's see. With a long rusty nail, they tried to make a hole to peep through. It is only a question of patience, said Tillie.
Miss
Now.
I can't see because of Monsi's head.
I'll stand up. Boys and girls, now they said they're trying to poke a hole through the wall, to peek through. Let's predict. Do we think, give me a thumbs up if you think this is going to work. Give me a thumbs down if you predict it will not work. Okay, so most of you think it will not work. Well, let's see what happens on the next page. We don't know. Hands folded before we move on. I want to find out if it works. Tillie thinks it's going to work. But after working an entire morning, they gave up, exhausted. What does exhausted mean, Zachariah?
That it's a fancy word.
It's a fancy word?
It's a fancy word for meaning that they're so tired.
They're so tired.
They're doing this thing or doing that thing or doing anything.
Good. They're exhausted without having made even a dent in the hard stone. Ouch. So I don't think that worked. What do you think they should try next? What would you try if you were Tillie and her friends? London, what do you think?
I think I would try if I went into a person, if there was a human also there, then wouldn't the human could help?
Well, is there a human here? No, so we have to come up with other solutions. So far, let's write down what they've tried. Raising a silent hand. Solutions. What have they tried so far, Charlotte? Tell me one.
They've tried poking a big hole so they can fit in the wall.
They've tried poking. What's the other way they tried? Claire.
Climbing.
Climbing. Oh boy, let's see what else they try. Do you think they're going to give up?
No.
No, it's sticking to it. Let's see. Hands down, Raphael. Thank you. The wall must end somewhere, Tillie said. They walked and walked for many hours. The wall had no end. Oh, so what else did they try? Mimi.
A house.
What did they try?
Make a hole underground so they can go the other side.
Oh, have we done that yet? No. First they walked They tried to walk to the end of the wall, but I guess the wall was very long. Walking didn't work.
No. Wait, did you flip the page?
I haven't flipped any pages yet. Monsi, hands down, we'll see. I like that you're excited to guess what's going to happen next. But you also need to remember that there are other people who want to guess. So you have to be patient. But one day, not far from the wall, Tillie saw a worm digging itself into the earth. How could she not have thought of that before? Why hadn't anyone thought of that before? What do you think the author means? Thought of that before? Thought of what? Thought of looking at a worm? How is that going to help us? What does she mean? Mimi, I think you're on the right track now. Let's see.
Dig a hole underground.
Dig a hole underground? Wait a second. Digging a hole is just going to get me dirty.
No.
What? Raphael, why would we dig a hole in the ground?
It might make a shortcut.
Shortcut to where?
To the end.
To the end of what?
The wall.
Oh, what do you mean? Can someone
If
help?
it's very long, but if you dig harder and harder, if
Mary?
you still don't give up, you might go on the end.
So you think you need to dig from one end all the way to the other?
Yeah.
But remember, Tillie wants to get to the other side of the wall. So how would digging help, Charlotte?
Digging would help because you could go under the wall and come up on the other side.
Under and on the other side. Do you think that will work? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay. We predict that it will work. London. All right, hands folded. Let's see. Full of excitement, Tillie began to dig. She dug and she dug. Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's dark.
It is dark. Do you think there are light bulbs underground?
No.
No. Let's see. Until suddenly, almost blinded by the bright sunlight, she was on the other
Side
of the
wall.
Okay, now remember, let's go back to the beginning of the story. Tillie always dreamed about this moment. Who remembers what she imagined would be on the other side? Simone.
Plants.
Plant, and what else? Mia, hands down. Not from there. Yes.
She imagined that it would be so beautiful, like strange creatures that didn't even exist.
All right, so let's see. What do we think?
Of mouses.
So far we predicted that at the end of the story, Tillie would climb the wall. Did she get to climb the wall?
No.
No, she tried, but didn't work. Did she build a house? Not exactly. Did she work as a team with the other friends? Kind of, for sometimes, but who dug the hole? Only Tillie. So our predictions weren't exactly correct.
Just like the science fair.
Just like the science fair when you have experiments. That's right. So she dug a hole. We were right about that. So, yes, Monsi?
I think I know what's going to be at the other side.
Oh, what do you think will be on the other side?
Other mouses that were trying to go to the other side.
You think other mice are on the other side?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if what happens at the other side, one mouse might have noticed the wall, or maybe two, and they would want to know why is there a wall, what's at the other side. Everybody's curious about something.
So do you think someone on the other side, just like Tillie, was thinking the same thing?
Yeah.
Who has a different prediction? What do you think Tillie will find on the other side? Raphael?
All mouses.
Mice?
Mices.
All mice? Mice.
Yeah.
Mice?
It might be all mice, and then maybe they should cut off the wall.
Do you think they should just tear down the wall?
No.
Well, we'll see. We don't know. We haven't read the end of the story yet. She couldn't believe her eyes. Before her were mice. Just regular mice. So there were mice on the other side, just like her friends and just like her. The mice gave Tillie a great welcome party. They took her to their celebration, Pebble. Has she seen that before somewhere? Has she seen these mice before somewhere?
Yes.
On the other side, let's see. They made speeches in her honor and waved flags. Why do you think these mice are so happy to see Tillie? She looks just like them. I don't think they're the plants and animals that she thought about. Charlotte, what do you think?
Because they're her friends on the other side of the wall. They found a way to get to the other side, and then they threw a party for her because they saw her at the other side of the wall.
Oh, so they're happy to see her on this side as well because she found a way to get through. Remember what we said? They were probably wondering how to get to the other side too. And Tillie was the one who discovered the way. Oh boy, what do you think is going to happen now? Karina?
Maybe those mice want to see the other side, but they're going to think, why is it the same as the side that we were living on? It's just the same because, so if you're outside and when you go back inside, the world doesn't change because it doesn't like turn different.
I like that people are sitting when Karina's answering her questions. Now I want you to sit still. I know you have some wiggles in your body, but we have to hear what Karina has to say. So you think they're going to the other side and wonder, wait a second, don't these mice look exactly like us? We'll see. I like that we're predicting so much by using the clues in the story. Then they decided to go through Tillie's tunnel to see for themselves what the other side was. You were right, Karina. One by one, they followed Tillie. And when the mice on Tillie's side of the wall saw what Tillie had discovered, there was another
Party.
How did you know we were going to say party? Yeah.
Because it seems like they're just the same exact people who do the same exact thing, just like we saw in music class. There was a video that seemed like he was just looking in the mirror, and the person on the other side of the mirror was exactly the same.
So you think it's like a mirror, that both sides are the same and they'll do the same exact things? That's a good observation. So far we've seen patterns of the same things happening. Dylan. The mice threw confetti. What is confetti? Who has ever heard of that before? Claire.
It's like little papers and people just throw in the air when it's any like parties.
When it's a party, a celebration.
Or birthday party.
Right, do you use confetti when you're about to go to bed?
No.
Or when you're going to have lunch? You use it at a birthday party. So this is a fun day.
What if it's a birthday party?
Well, is this a birthday party?
No.
No, but we might use it for birthday parties. That's a celebration.
Birthday parties.
Let's see. Everyone shouted. Tillie, 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 Tillie. Stop. And they carried Tillie high in the air in triumph. They're so happy. Since that day, the mice go freely from one side of the wall to the other. And they always remember that it was Tillie who first showed them the way. The end.
So Karina was right because they were the same people.
They were the same people. Before we go back to our desks and talk about prediction, I have a question. Why do you think Tillie was able to find a way to the other side of the wall? Remember the theme or what all these stories all are about. Someone who hasn't answered yet. Why do you think Tillie was able to dig London?
Because now mice can dig.
Mice can dig? Did they all dig? Did they start from the beginning?
No, but only Tillie can.
Tillie?
Only Tillie did. But other mice can dig too, because they are like the same, but they can dig.
They can dig. I have a question. I'd like for you to answer my questions too, Maren. Sit. Crisscross applesauce. Maren?
Well, I don't get how if the mice on. I don't think the mice on that side where Tillie was normally, that they also followed him to the other side, because if they were if they were the same people on both sides, then Tillie must have had all the mice dig underground with her, but I don't think that they didn't say that happened.
They did. They said that they all went back with her to the other side. But what's something that Tillie kept doing that the other mice did not? So they poked, they climbed, they all walked. But did they dig with Tillie?
No.
What's something that's different about Tillie than the other mice? What's something that's different? Raphael.
Actually, I don't have what to say.
Okay. Monty.
That Tillie was the person who did not give up.
Tillie did not give up.
She
She
stuck to it.
stuck to it. Very good.
The book says in the front.
Yes, one more thing.
Because she was the most. She was the mice that was. She was the only mice that was really interested in just doing that instead of talking and getting food like they all
Omika.
like all the other people used to do, and she did too. But she kept on staring at that wall.
She kept on sticking to it.
Because she just really wanted to see what was on that other side. She just imagined that would happen. So when she saw, maybe that's what I can do, and I never knew we could do that. So
That's
she
right.
followed
Hands
that
down.
by doing it so she could see what was on the other side.
Very good. Boys and girls, hands down, hands folded. In 5, eyes on Miss Garcia. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Right now we're going back to our desks when I call you by rote, and we're going to discuss with a partner a time when you never gave up. You stuck to
It
like who?
Tillie.
All right.